Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a hard look at a massive assumption pretty much all of us make about the working world. And we're going to do it by unpacking what we call the algebra of conscience. For decades, we've treated workplace trust like a simple machine, right? Do your job, be completely reliable, and trust just automatically follows. But what happens when the hidden psychological wiring of your team actually rejects that formula? Today, we're going to rethink how trust is actually built using some absolutely fascinating cold, hard data.
Real quick, here's our roadmap. We'll start with the reliability assumption, unpack the empathy data shift, map out the cross-stage conflict, track the resulting system escalation, and finally, we'll explore dynamic prediction and AI vibe coding. Let's just jump right in.
Section 1. The reliability assumption, the outdated metric.
Okay, let's dive into this. Most management structures are built on a really simple idea. Procedural reliability as the sole validator validates trust-building effectiveness. It's the classic corporate mindset. We assume that if you just show up on time and follow through on your checklists, people will trust you. It treats consistency as the absolute, unquestionable proof of connection. But what if treating reliability as the only valid signal actually breaks genuine relational trust?
Section 2. The empathy data shift, the anomaly.
Now, what's really interesting here is this number, 0.0986. This is a mathematically significant positive correlation between showing empathy and what spiral dynamics theory calls the green vMEME, which is essentially a worldview intensely focused on community and collective care. This isn't just a guess either. It's derived from a study spanning 65 countries, 19 languages, and 412 responses. And since the critical R value was 0.0969, we know this is a statistically significant anomaly. It proves something profound is shifting in how we evaluate trust. As that green stage strengthens, collective care actually becomes a deeper validator, actively deprioritizing procedural reliability as the sole signal. In fact, in a green context, people actually disagree that staying consistent is the ultimate trust builder, showing a positive correlation of 0.2001 for disagreement. On the flip side, they strongly agree that showing empathy is what matters. The pattern is incredibly clear. Mutual understanding simply outweighs consistency as sole signal in green contexts.
Section 3. Cross-stage validation conflict, mapping the complexity.
Let's zoom out from the green anomaly to map how other stages uniquely filter trust. Different stages actually validate the exact same trust-building strategies through entirely different lenses with incredible scale-label specificity. For example, the blue stage, which loves rules, shows a negative 0.2301 correlation if you disagree with staying consistent. But look at purple, focused on telling the truth, sitting at a positive 0.4460. Turquoise prioritizing confidentiality at positive 0.3847, and yellow, heavily focused on showing empathy, jumping all the way to a massive positive 0.5888. So the crucial takeaway here is that a singular trust-building strategy causes huge conflicts when evaluated across these divergent spiral dynamics models. Purple needs tribal belonging, blue needs procedural duty, red respects power, autonomy, and dominance, orange wants strategic optimization, green craves relational authenticity, where collective care depth is the deeper validator, yellow needs systemic calibration, and turquoise seeks holistic integration. If you assume everyone uses reliability as their sole proof, you are completely blind to how your team actually operates. Section 4. System reactions and escalation, cascading failure.
So what happens when we ignore this and force one metric on everyone? It triggers a cascading procedural domino effect. First, management pushes reliability as sole validator. Then, collective care depth signals weaken and erode. Next, trust building fragments entirely. To fix it, the company panics and deepens procedural rigidity. And ultimately, your trust metrics completely lose their predictive validity. Your spreadsheet says everyone's fine, but internally, the whole system is collapsing. Valery Kosenko hit the nail on the head when he said, "That gap is where trust understanding stops, building relational coordination. When trust systems suffer, it is directly because those evaluations conflate basic mechanical reliability with genuine relational coordination capacity. We're testing for consistency, but we're totally failing to test for actual connection." Section 5. Dynamic Programming Prediction, Formalizing the Soul.
To fix this, we have to move to a new technological toolkit, the dynamic programming model, or DPM. This is a mathematical framework utilizing over 13,000 global correlations to turn human psychology, fears, and trust into a predictable state vector. We're using this correlation data to calculate the invisible costs of management actions. Because outcomes wildly diverge under reliability-as-sole-validator contexts versus collective care contexts, we need a way to mathematically track those shifts. And look at how this algebra of conscience actually mathematically penalizes a toxic workplace. In a standard setup, cost is everything. But the DPM formally weights fears at an incredible 0.9 and well-being at 0.8, right alongside direct actions at 1.0. If you try to save money but absolutely spike the fear vector of your community-driven team, the model mathematically proves you are losing stability.
Section 6. AI Vibe Coding Application, the technological solution.
Now, you might be wondering how organizational leaders can actually deploy this dense math without a data science degree. Enter AI vibe coding. This is a massive 2025 to 2026 software trend where you use natural language to instruct LLMs like Claude Code or Cursor to build apps without writing traditional code. You can literally just type, "Show me green stage trust building validation patterns," and the AI generates the systemic insights instantly.
Which brings us to interfaces like the SD Navigator UI, generated exactly this way. It highlights how collective care depth becomes the deeper validator over procedural reliability, mapping out agree strongly, disagree, or neither scales. It visually predicts state transitions to optimize stability, showing you the butterfly effect of your management decisions before you even make them.
The blueprint follows a continuous loop. Survey the team, profile the state vector, weight the systemic importance, model the simulations, and act. It proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that prediction without validation, attribution modeling becomes totally unreliable in modern teams. You have to know what lens your team is looking through. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to chew on. If your organization is a living ecosystem, not a machine, what breaks when trust-building validation stops measuring procedural reliability as the sole signal and starts measuring collective care depth through empathy? Thanks for diving into this with me.